Hello and welcome to Theme Park History, the channel for everything to do with theme parks, old and new, big and small. In today's episode, we gaze into the stars and explore the universe as we take a look at Men in Black: Alien Attack, an interactive dark ride shooter attraction that opened at Universal Studios Florida on April 14, 2000. This attraction was suggested by all these recruits, so thank you to everyone for the comments. As always, if there's an attraction you would like us to cover in future videos, leave a comment down below. You never know, your suggestion might be next month's video. Based on the hit 1997 sci-fi film Men in Black, Men in Black: Alien Attack set the standard for guest participation in a theme park attraction when it opened in the year 2000. Claimed by Universal to be the world's first life-size, ride-through, interactive video game experience, Alien Attack is the only attraction at a Universal theme park that offers several different endings, all dependent upon the guest's overall score. Featuring a unique ride system, over 120 different animatronics, and being one of the largest dark rides ever created, the attraction is considered to be a fan favorite and one of the best at Universal Studios Florida, as it encourages multiple ride-throughs to see who has what it takes to protect the planet from the scum of the universe. Our story begins in 1997, in which Universal Studios Florida was about to face a major problem. At the time, Universal was in the process of a massive 10-year, $3 billion expansion that would transform the single theme park into the Universal Orlando Resort, which would include the opening of their brand new theme park, Islands of Adventure. Universal was worried that the new park, which would officially open in 1999, would be so popular that it would hurt the overall attendance levels of the only place you can ride the movies. To counteract this, Universal began development on an attraction that would ensure that guests would continue to want to visit Universal Studios Florida. Hello, recruit. If you're watching this, that means you've been selected to take part in our MIB training program. While you might know me as Jack, host of the YouTube series Theme Park History, I'm also known as MIB Agent J, Defender of the Galaxy. You're probably asking what happened to the original Agent J, the one you saw in our movie Men in Black and its sequels, Men in Black 2 and Men in Black 3. I'm happy to say the former Agent J has gone into retirement. I believe we have a clip of what he's currently up to. Can we show that?
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Good God, that's what he's doing these days? Whatever makes him happy. Anyway, obviously if you're watching this video, not only are you interested in the history of our very own attraction, you want to know what it takes to be part of the best, what it takes to become part of the Men in Black. Well, good news, we're currently hiring. But before I go into what the salary is and what type of health benefits we offer, we need to make sure you're cut out for saving the universe. So to begin the process, we'll start out easy. A quiz on Men in Black: Alien Attack. Here's how this is going to work. At the end of the video, I'll ask you a few questions, so pay attention, get them right, and we'll contact you with what the next step is to putting on the last suit you'll ever wear. So good luck, recruit. Trust me when I say this, you're gonna need it. Known as the Universal Orlando Millennium Project, the new attraction would be built on the plot of land between Back to the Future the Ride and the Wild Wild West Stunt Show. The land was originally going to be used as a site for a clone of Jurassic Park the Ride, which had opened at Universal Studios Hollywood in 1996. The idea was scrapped, however, when Islands of Adventure was in development, instead turning the standalone attraction into its own island within the park, with its entire creative team being dedicated to their two brand new theme parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Japan. Universal began searching for help outside the company. Finding outside talent to work on the new attraction was harder than expected because besides the two projects Universal was currently working on, Disney was working on two new theme parks of their own, Tokyo Disney Sea and Disney's Animal Kingdom. Universal would eventually tap Phil Hetema, who was the vice president of attraction development for Universal Creative at the time, to take on the project. Hetema would bring in Dave Cobb as the creative director, along with Craig Hanna and John Murdy as show designers for both the concept and story for the attraction. With the team now in place, the biggest challenge they faced would be to create a brand new e-ticket attraction in only 28 months, which is a very short time frame for a theme park ride to go from concept to grand opening. Some possible concepts for the attraction were a roller coaster based on the 1995 movie Apollo 13, a dark ride attraction based on the animated series The Simpsons, which Universal would revisit a few years later, a dark ride inspired by the stories of Stephen King, including The Shining and It, and a dark dark ride shooter inspired by the 1997 movie Men in Black. It was eventually decided that the attraction would be based on Men in Black because not only was the movie a box office success, but it would appeal to a broader demographic than the horror concept. Because of the rushed time frame, the attraction would have to incorporate a ride system that already existed within either of the parks. The choices were narrowed down to two ride systems that were being introduced at Islands of Adventure: The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man and The Cat in the Hat. The team originally decided on using the Spider-Man ride system. However, due to how intense the system was, it was near impossible to hit any of the targets during testing. The Cat in the Hat ride system would be used instead, as it was seen as very reliable and less intense. For the ride vehicle, each would have two onboard computers that would control the audio and gameplay elements, also being able to communicate with the central computer of the attraction. The laser weapons, which are referred to as zappers, were created by Heads Up Technologies and utilized the same system as Disney's Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. While the Disney attraction had the zappers mounted to the ride vehicle, Alien Attack would allow guests to pick up their zappers instead. Another difference between the two would be how the targets are presented within the attraction. For the Disney attraction, obvious targets are visible throughout the entire ride, which Universal thought distracted guests from the elaborate scenes that surrounded them. For their attraction, Universal decided they wouldn't feature any targets, and guests would simply aim and shoot at the aliens instead. Each alien would have on average about 7 sensors, with the larger ones having anywhere between 20 to 30. The targets would be hidden underneath the fiberglass shells of the aliens, with small holes allowing them to register hits. The attraction features a total of 127 animatronics, 80 of them created by Universal, with the other 47 being borrowed from the actual movie. The attraction was designed to have multiple endings based on the guests' scores. Between the two final scenes, there was a possibility of 35 different endings. However, the number of endings would change to less than 20 after complaints from guests who did so poorly they wouldn't see either of the scenes, dropping those endings entirely. The attraction show building is 80,000 square feet, which was the largest in the park at the time of its opening. Just like the MIB headquarters from the movie, Universal wanted the show building to be hiding in plain sight, acting as a decoy only to reveal its true nature. A proposed concept for the building was to model it after the Orlando International Airport, with riders walking through a terminal, complete with a baggage claim area and tram ride, only to be diverted to the MIB headquarters. This concept would be dropped, due to Universal being concerned the airport would not be associated with the movie by guests. It was decided the building would be made to look like a 1964 World's Fair pavilion, which had been relocated from New York to Universal Studios, Florida. Will Smith and Rip Torn would reprise their roles as Agent J and Chief Zed from the movie. For Will Smith, much of the script Universal had written for him was thrown out, with Smith using his own comedy writer instead for his lines during the attraction. While Sony Pictures, the creator of the Men in Black movie, took a hands-off approach to the attraction, Universal was still required to pitch the attraction to Steven Spielberg, who was an executive producer of the film. Spielberg would go on to make a few suggestions, one of these including Frank the Pug, the dog seen from the film, as an Easter egg in the attraction. Spielberg himself can be found within the attraction as an Easter egg as well, wearing a Jurassic Park hat. As the attraction neared completion, the budget had begun to run low, forcing Universal to make some cutbacks to the queue. Originally, the immigration office was to be packed full of animatronic characters, but this was scrapped in order to stay within the attraction's budget. For several months after it had opened, the staff working the attraction would take their breaks within guest view in order to feel like it was a real workplace. Guests can actually take a tour of this area. All they have to do is talk to the team member outside the attraction. If it is a slow time and there is a team member available, they will escort the guests for a tour of the immigration office. With a total budget of $70 million, Men in Black Alien Attack would officially open at Universal Studios Florida on April 18, 2000.
Universal Studios makes you the star of your favorite movies, like in the spectacular new Men in Black Alien Attack ride. Only you determine the outcome as you join the Men in Black and save the Earth from aliens. If you haven't experienced the all-new Men in Black Alien Attack ride at Universal Studios, you haven't experienced Orlando. Universal Studios, one of 2 awesome theme parks at Universal Orlando. 2 parks, 2 days, 1 great vacation.
Located in the World Expo section of the park, guests enter a building made to look like a pavilion at the 1964 World's Fair. including the notorious flying saucer-shaped observation towers featured both at the fair and in the movie. Inside the building, guests visit an exhibit called the Universe NU, Are We Alone?, which is set to explore if there's any extraterrestrial activity from other galaxies. However, the presentation is cut short by Chief Zed, the head of the Men in Black. One of the walls of the exhibit splits, opening up into an elevator in which the guests enter. Once inside, Zed apologizes for all the phony theme park nonsense, as it's just a precaution to protect the identity of the headquarters. Zed informs the guests that he has initiated the Men in Black trainee program, and the new trainees will have a chance to prove they have what it takes to become an agent. The elevator takes guests to Intergalactic Alien Immigration Services. As they make their way through the queue, guests encounter the worm guys hanging out in the break room. Guests make their way through immigration control, where alien twins, Wahant and Bob, operate the controls, and a large video screen broadcasts training information, most wanted aliens, and announcements of the impending doom to Earth that are always narrowly averted. Guests then enter the weapons room, where a training video titled The Story of Doofus and Do-Right plays, showing guests the do's and don'ts while on the ride. A strong emphasis is made to the guests to never push the red button located on their vehicle. Guests finally enter the training facility, where the 6-person vehicle awaits them. Once aboard their vehicle, guests enter the training simulation, competing against another team of guests on a parallel track. Equipped with either the Noisy Cricket or the Jumbo Judy training weapon, guests make their way through the simulation, shooting at cardboard cutouts of crudely drawn aliens with flashing red lights for eyes. The training simulation is cut short when Zed informs the trainees that an alien prison ship has crash-landed in New York City, and the escaped prisoners are now causing chaos. With their weapons now energized to full power, the guests are transported to the city to defeat the alien prisoners, attempting to score as many points as they possibly can by shooting them. The trainees encounter numerous aliens, some being large and hard to miss, while others are small, hiding in windows, bushes, and other sly places. Halfway throughout their mission, the two competing vehicles face each other and pass through a large scanner, as Zed has heard aliens might have infiltrated the MIB fleet. The scanner reveals that the opposing vehicle is full of aliens in disguise, prompting Zed to tell the trainees to aim for the fusion exhaust port, a glowing red light atop the imposter's vehicle. A hit to the port causes the imposter's vehicle to widely spin out of control, giving the trainees more time to score points. After fighting the imposters, the trainees reach Times Square. There, Agent J hacks a large television screen to alert the trainees to get their game faces on, as a really big alien has been located and they are heading right to it. Trainees encounter Edgar, a massive 30-foot tall, 50 feet wide cockroach-like alien like the one from the film. Edgar is immune to the weapons, so Zed is left with no choice but to order the trainees to push the red button, which will activate the subatomic thermonuclear disruptor, destroying the massive alien. If the trainees are successful in pushing the red button, they will receive a 100,000 points bonus to their overall score. The vehicle enters the alien's mouth as a countdown for the disruptor goes off, causing it to spin out of control surrounded by fog with strobe flashes going off. After defeating Edgar, both teams have their scores averaged and Agent J appears to declare which team is the winner. The two teams once again go separate ways to view their final scene of the attraction, in which their overall performance falls into one of 3 endings: Bug Bait, Cosmically Average, and Galaxy Defender. If the trainees receive either of the first 2, they are shown an alien coach telling them what they could have done better. But if the trainees receive the Galaxy Defender ending, they are shown an alien tailor finishing a black suit, informing them that their suit will be ready next Wednesday. Regardless of the outcome, Agent J neuralizes the trainees and the vehicle re-enters the retro-themed atrium with the Universe NU logo on the wall in front of them, with the big question answered: are we alone? Of course we are. Riders then exit into the Men in Black gift shop, where merchandise from the attraction and the movie are sold. The 4.5-minute attraction has been well received with guests, as many have praised the inventiveness of the attraction, its engaging story, and ambitious use of animatronics, along with its rewritability value due to the multiple endings one can achieve and the competitive aspect. A year after the attraction opened, Men in Black Alien Attack won the THEA Award for Outstanding Achievement by the Themed Entertainment Association. So you're probably wondering what it takes to become a Galaxy Defender, what it takes to put on the last suit you'll ever wear and call yourself the best of the best. Let me tell you something, rookies, it's no walk in the park. It takes a lot of hard work and determination to become the first, last, and only line of defense when it comes to protecting Earth from alien activity. Luckily, you're talking to one of the best agents to ever work for this organization, and someone who's achieved the Galaxy Defender title so many times they should get to rename it after me at this point. So to help you in your training, here are 5 tips to become a Galaxy Defender. defender. Never let go of the trigger. Unlike modern weapons, we've been able to harness alien technology to make your Series 4 alienators have unlimited capacity, meaning you'll never have to worry about reloading. Once your training simulation begins, make sure to press and hold the trigger to make your alienator continuously fire. Not only will you have a better chance of hitting a target, but you'll also get points for firing your weapon. Why do we give you points for just firing, you ask? It's a surefire way to make sure your alienators are working properly and that you really want to be part of our organization. The smaller, the better. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Why would I want to take down those bigger, nastier aliens first? Aren't they the much more obvious target and pose a bigger threat than what you're suggesting? Let me tell you something. It's a lot harder to find and take out those smaller aliens than the bigger ones that stick out like a sore thumb. We're not just looking for anyone who could hit the side of a barn. We're looking for recruits that can take out the less obvious aliens that might be good at hide and seek. These aliens are usually hiding above the street level, usually in the windows, so keep an eye, both high and low, for these smaller aliens. You'll earn more points for taking them out. Don't let up. A common mistake I've seen with recruits who've tried our simulation and failed is they take one pot shot and move on to the next alien they see. You have to understand something. These aliens are tough SOBs and one shot isn't going to put them down for good. Once you found your target, keep shooting it. Instead of going all John Wick at every alien you see, focus on a specific one instead. You'll gain more points if you focus on shooting that one specific alien multiple times. I know what you're going to ask. When do I know the aliens had enough? Well, there's two ways. Their eyes will turn from green to red, and you'll hear a cheep from your weapon once the alien has been defeated. Take out the other vehicle. I hate to be the one to admit it, but even our security isn't the best when it comes to detecting aliens that are posing as recruits here at MIB headquarters. It rarely happens, but during your simulation, if you come across an opposing team that has nothing but a bunch of aliens in disguise, take them out. They're disgusting. The easiest way to do this is shoot at the vehicle's exhaust port. Doing so will not only rack you up some huge points, but will send them spinning as well, making sure they regret waiting more than 30 minutes to experience our simulation. Our wait times are very low. We want to make sure that we get as many recruits as possible. We're well equipped and well staffed to make sure that happens. Be warned though, hitting that port isn't an easy task to pull off, but if you do, it's definitely going to help your chances. And finally, press the red button. But Jay, we're constantly told not to push the red button during our orientation. Yeah, and I was told Fast and the Furious Supercharge was a good attraction, but that isn't the case, is it? Look, I'm not saying you should push the red button, but if Zed says you should push the red button, you push the red button. When drastic times call for drastic measures, the red button is the only way. If it's ever brought up in your simulation to push the red button, hit it as fast as you can. Being the first one to do so will rack you up 100,000 points, which will definitely help your score get a much needed boost. So there you have it, 5 tips from one of the best here at the Men in Black. There's nothing really else I can offer to tell you besides not to give up if you don't succeed on your first try. We don't have any wait times when it comes to applications, so if you're visiting the park more than once, there's nothing stopping you from trying over and over again. Also, one more thing, don't try to hide your face during the photo opportunity. We use that photo to cross-reference your application whenever you attempt our simulation. What I meant is that it's a really cool souvenir to bring home from your trip to the park. For almost 20 years, Men in Black Alien Attack has been one of the most unique dark ride attractions at Universal Studios Florida. With its unique ride system and several different ending combinations based on the performance of the guests, Alien Attack encourages multiple ride-throughs so new recruits can learn from their mistakes and try again to join the ranks of the best. Even though it's one of the park's oldest attractions, Men in Black Alien Attack still offers tons of fun for everyone, even if you're not from this universe. Alright, so I think that's enough about our attraction. It's time to see if you're paying attention, or if you're too busy already typing in the comments the next attraction you want to be covered. Here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you're going to send your answers via mail to the address that shows up on screen. Question 1. What was the headquarters originally going to... Sorry, I gotta take it. It's the boss. Give me a minute. Yeah, go for Jay. Uh-huh. And when did this come down? Are you sure about that? I don't think that's a good idea. You know, we were talking... Okay. Sure thing, boss. So I have bad news, recruits. The budget I thought we were going to have to possibly hire some of you has been allocated towards our new film, Men in Black International. Supposedly it cost us a lot of money to get Chris Hemsworth as a leading actor. That's a bad choice in my opinion. I offered to play the leading role as I'm already an actual agent, but hey, their loss. So since we're now currently not hiring, each of you are going to be placed on the waiting list instead. In order to confirm this, we need one last thing, a picture. So if you wouldn't mind staying still while we use our unique state-of-the-art camera. Okay, here we go. On 3, don't forget to smile. Alright, 1, 2, 3. So that is the theme park history of Men in Black Alien Attack. As always, thank you for watching the video and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's any attraction you want us to cover in future videos, leave a comment down below. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, if anyone asks you if we're alone in the universe, tell them, of course we are.
I don't believe it!
Agent Smith and Agent Jones aren't your ordinary peace officers, and the fugitives they hunt aren't your ordinary criminals. They are the Men in Black, protecting the Earth from the scum of the universe.
How? Who? How do we stop that?
We get help.
Help is here!
You provide the muscle.
We provide the plan!
All we need is chocolate sauce.
And lots of whip...
Where'd it go, Zed?
Chocolate sauce.
We didn't write that.
They changed it.
Worms?
Uh-oh.